This is a photograph I shot in Germany, and in today's video I'm taking you with me on a little trip across Germany. I captured so much footage and I had a lot of fun picturing this country that, to me, as someone who grew up and lives in Austria, the small southern neighbour, is so familiar and yet distinctly different. I can already tell you that I was quite lucky with a lot of lovely weather and I shot a lot of film. So if that sounds like a fun journey to join, I invite you to come along. Let's go. This story begins at home in Innsbruck on a lively evening in September when I was one of the many people whizzing around the train station. I was honestly quite surprised by the crowd, considering that it was getting quite late. At this point it was shortly before 9 o'clock and I was heading to my train. That's right, I'm taking a night train. This was my first time to take a night train with a proper little cabin to sleep in, and I was very excited to get to experience this. To be honest, my expectations were quite low and the train positively surprised me. It was pretty comfy and I felt like I was flying first class because I could lie down and sleep. Just that I wasn't in the air but on rails, and so to my delight it was not hard to get some good sleep. In the morning I got out the cabin and found out that we were running a little late, in fact 2 hours, but whether I arrive at 7 or at 9 honestly didn't make too big of a difference for me. So where was I actually heading to? It was certainly not close to home, seeing as it required a night train to get there. I was on my way to Münster, which is a medium-sized city in North Rhine-Westphalia, which is basically that western corner of Germany where a bunch of cities are lumped together as if half the country just decided that that is the ideal spot to settle. I was heading there, of all places, to visit my friend Karin, who you might know from her YouTube channel, and she is a Münster local.
Allgemeines Problem Software ist eine interessante Geschichte.
We were going to meet up in town, and on the way the sun was trying to come out, and every now and then a couple rays of sunshine actually lit up the scene, and I was off to the races with my photography. These first shots aren't too bad, I think. However, they aren't as good as they could be. Reason is that I made a silly mistake. I had my light meter app set to ISO 400, but I was shooting Kodak Gold 200, which means I underexposed my shots a little, which sadly made them a little more contrasty than I would have liked. Karen and I met up, and after a little catch-up in a neat German bread and coffee shop, we went into town and got to see the city Karen calls home. At this spot, the city has these yellow chairs everywhere where people can take a seat and just hang out in the area, which I thought was quite interesting. As you can see, I shot a couple photos. Here I asked Karen if I may take her portrait in this little corner. This is what I got, and I really like it. I was drawn to the scene thanks to the mix of brown bricks and greenery, which made for a colourful yet calm scene, with a sort of open space in the middle that was the perfect spot to have Karen stand.
Mas não venha me pedir pra andar de ré, pois é. Eu cresci no gueto, eu cresci com preto.
Here we'd come to the back of a pretty brick building with a big tree beside it. The sun was just peeking out at this time, so that the scene was decorated by some lovely dynamic lighting, which I tried to capture. At this point, we entered Münster's botanical garden, which I was keen to explore.
50er ist mehr wie so ein...
Here's a shot of Karen that I got inside of this greenhouse, which I think turned out pretty cool. I like the soft top light in here and the color contrast of the greens and the browns. By the way, if you look closely, you'll see that Karen was shooting with an oddly familiar camera. That's my Ricoh TF900. That is because we had just done a camera swap. One of the reasons for this trip was a video I'm working on about Leica cameras, and so I wanted to interview Karen as a Leica user. She was so kind and even suggested a camera swap, and so I was able to shoot 1.5 rolls of film with her Leica M6 to better understand what makes these cameras special. So the following photographs were shot with her camera. After the botanical garden, we walked through the university where I came across a cool scene. I shot 2 photos here, one with some people in frame, which I think adds a sense of scale and life to the place, and one shot that is literally the same one but devoid of people. If I remember correctly, I think Karen said she'd go with the empty version while I was more convinced of the first shot. What do you think? I like how this shot turned out. Most of the frame is overgrown and full of leaves, but then there's a few open pockets in which some people are framed. I love how just in this moment there was a person walking by at the back to add to the scene. After a late lunch break, Karen briefly went home to get some things, while I stayed in the city to just shoot a little more. That, however, didn't go quite as planned because... Münster local and I were stuck beneath the roof here waiting for the rain to pass, and we got chatting. It was great to briefly get to know a little something about another local here, and as the clouds passed and the rain stopped, the sun came out and lit up the place in a beautiful post-rain glow. Before parting ways, I asked the local whether I may take her portrait, which is how this photo was taken. Karen and I had regrouped and continued to stroll through the city. Here we passed by a flower shop, which happened to be a cool scene to photograph. I really like how this one turned out. The flowers make for a lovely, vibrant subject, but the shopkeeper in the midst of all of them is what makes the composition actually work, in my opinion. Another detail I like is the big sign at the top that says Blume 2000, which is literally just German for Flower 2000, which I think is an amusingly simple name for a flower shop.
And sing it loud, and find someone, stick around, take it in, you're glory bound. Cowboy, some truck driving man, your day will come too, so hang in if you can, just count the days.
After some more exploration of different parts of the city, the day came to an end, and so that concludes a wonderful first day of this trip.
Saddle up, you're glory bound.
Then, back in the hotel, I was busy sleeping and recharging for day 2. The hotel was nice, but they really need to update their website. That thing was awful to navigate. Do you know what they could have used to do a better job? Squarespace. If you want to make a website, I recommend using Squarespace. I myself have been using Squarespace for over 5 years at this point, and it's perfect for people like me who are creatives but not web developers. They're an all-in-one platform, so with your subscription you can make a website, host your content, register your own domain name, sell products, track analytics, and much more. They have this lovely, intuitive drag-and-drop editor called Fluid Engine, which is so easy to use and lets you customize the layout and design of your page. If you need some help when getting started, you can start off with one of the many professional and beautifully designed templates, which you can then customize to suit your own style. Or you can work with Squarespace's AI, which enables you to build a website in minutes by describing it and answering a few questions. All in all, what I think Squarespace is great at is combining creative freedom with ease of use, which I really appreciate. Try it out for yourself. You can head to squarespace.com for a 14-day free trial, and then when you're ready to launch your website, you can go to squarespace.com/TeoCrawford to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. Thank you so much to Squarespace for continuously supporting the channel. After that eventful first day, the second day was a little slower paced. Karen showed me this lake that sort of pierces into the city and we walked around the area.
Crazy, romantic.
Comment ça, deine keeping cool.
Ah, Battle of the Film.
It's a pause for a reason.
After our walk, we did the interview that I wanted to do with Karen. You'll see this in a future video.
You don't even have to ask to be the cat in the sun. Someday I will see the whole deal through today.
After that, I slowly walked back to my hotel, getting some shots here and there, but only on video actually, because I didn't really spot the right kind of lighting that I would want to spend my film frames on.
Leave a little bit undone. And be the cat in the sun. Be the cat in the sun. Set aside every empty spreadsheet. Loosen up from the grind. Simmer down, settle back and mess around. Be the cat in the sun. I will see the
As you can see, I had my Ricoh TF900 back. I had returned the Leica M6 to Karen. Big thank you to her for letting me try it so extensively. It was a really fun experience, but I'll save my thoughts on this for another video. On this day, I had a mission. The mission was to make it to Gießen, which is a small city close to Frankfurt, which is about a 3-ish hour train ride away. As you might or might not know, Germany sadly isn't exactly known for its reliable trains. In fact, it's quite the opposite. And on this day, I got to experience it. I had this romantic idea of taking the train halfway and stopping by in some cute small towns on the way. But merely 10 minutes before my train was supposed to arrive, they somehow, all of a sudden, realized that the train is 2 hours late. So I ended up taking a different train to get closer to Frankfurt and just skip my side quests and concentrate on actually making it to my destination by the end of the day.
Take me home. I remember I was there.
I ended up taking a train that didn't directly take me to Frankfurt, just to Frankfurt Airport, and then I made my way from there.
Buried in the darkness, I was found finally in this little bed. I was born again in the sun. Come undone in the sun.
On my way to Gießen, it seemed to me that I was going to make it to my destination successfully, so I actually hopped off a couple stations early to check out a random spot on the way.
Thousand ways to die. Black smoke fills my lungs every time we kiss. Tie your hair and turn away. I watch you disappear. I want you to stay. I want you to
Later, I successfully made it to Gießen, where my friend Marvin picked me up, and on the next day, I was going to have the honor to see some places that he calls home.
Der Geräuschkulisse, dass wir so ein bisschen so Bohrgeräusche im Hintergrund hören und Zugzeuge schon so. Wo ist denn hier ein Hahn?
Oder ist hier direkt bei den Nachbarn? Okay, wow, ich merke, wie die Sonne knallt. An Perspektive sieht, als ich das jeden Tag, wirklich jeden. Die Katze oben irgendwas gespielt nachts, ich weiß nicht, ob du es.
I went down to the city with a suitcase in my hand, looking for a better deal and trying to find myself a plan. Roaming round the streets, filling up some useless time. And if I'd seen her then and there, I would have asked her to be mine. Ooh, something to talk about.
Das ist so schön.
Ooh, someone to dream about. I'm going.
Here, Marvin took me to an old, very old building that used to be a church.
Richtig schöne kleine Walderdbeeren.
Oh.
They tell me how
Tierausreise ins
it
Wunderland.
should feel.
Siehst du?
till I live it. It's ideal.
Auch Aussichtstürme gab's
Time
hier.
flies by, only alone. Now just photos on my phone.
Das ist einfach so schön.
I cannot see it, or I choose lies. Struggle to keep.
It was really cool to drive around the area here. For me, it was a similar experience as Münster in a way, meaning that the landscape seemed so familiar and yet different, which is a theme for me in Germany. I speak their language and know their culture through their media, which of course has a strong presence in Austria, and yet when I actually see some places, it's quite different in small ways. I've been to many places in Bavaria, which is still quite similar to Austria, but up in Münster, which isn't even considered the north of Germany, but for me it's far up north, it felt like a whole different place. And now, here in Hessen, I had a similar feeling. All so familiar and yet clearly different. I was enjoying the experience a lot.
Only live it is my
Auf diesem Moos
mind.
wachsen einfach Pilze auf den Ästen.
I wanna know how high I can go.
Jetzt will ich es nicht neu lernen. Ich glaube, so diese Straßen hinten ist schon cool. Jetzt 50 Meter oder so. Immer so ein
Also
bisschen.
hier haben wir Martin hinter den Kulissen, der Tourguide. Hier so mit Gegenlicht.
This here is Marvin's local mountain. Coming from Innsbruck, this obviously didn't quite appear to be a mountain, but that's the beauty of these differences. To the locals here, this is what they consider their mountain, and I really enjoyed seeing the other people coming up here to enjoy the scenery and the fresh air. I always love to see people appreciate the beauty of nature.
Wenn ich diese Videos sehe, dieses Color,
Der ist krass.
boah, das quasi eingraviert ist wie die Ebene.
Das Essen.
Ich musste eben mal umgreifen, dass das geht.
Next, Marvin took me to a cute small town that he wanted to show me.
Das sind noch die Brains, die wissen das. Haben wir einen Bahnhof?
Hier.
I was in awe. These typical half-timbering houses that Germany is known for intrigued me. They're so pretty, and while I knew of them of course, and it wasn't exactly an exotic sight, I found myself pretty excited nevertheless because I just appreciate a pretty looking town, I guess, and I thought this place was gorgeous.
Ach, hast du oft gespielt?
Here, I spotted some locals just hanging out at a neat spot with a view, which I thought made for a sweet photo. It was around here that our supposed lunch spot was going to be. We had bought some sandwiches before coming to this town, and Marvin said he knew a spot, a good place to enjoy those sandwiches. And oh, he was not kidding.
Das sieht so aus wie so ein brauner See, was auch immer.
Du stehst quasi drauf.
Ja.
After re-energizing and filling our bellies in this utterly beautiful place, we slowly made our way through the town back to the car to continue our journey.
Mit Essen, das Live-Musik.
I love how at this later time of the day, the town became quite lively, which I tried to document in these photographs.
Teilweise auch Gipfel.
The next place we were heading to was Wetzlar, the hometown of Leica. Marvin actually happens to live just 30 minutes away from Wetzlar, however he had never been to either Leica's HQ nor the city itself, so we decided to go together.
In times of heroes, in times like these, I wish I could fly. When life comes to me, when everything seems to come alive, I will not silently stand here and watch you.
At this point, we were approaching the evening hours, and so by the time we made it into town, golden hour was in full swing.
Also spuckt nicht.
Fun fact about this shot, Marvin and I both shot this photo at exactly the same time because we had precisely the same framing idea in mind.
Knüller, der sitzt da. Oh, steht dick und fett. Nee, Z. Der hat Geld. Alles stehen und liegen. Great Real Life Music, Row. Aus 1603.
The sun slowly set in Wetzlar, and after a lovely dinner we said goodbye to this town, and that was the end of a great day.
Kann man das vielleicht ganz gut beschreiben? So cute, was meine Mutter da so im Fenster stehen hat. Ich kenne zu diesen Sachen, die sie da hat, die komplette...
And everybody's got a run. And ain't nobody gonna hold you.
On the following day, my pleasure of experiencing the German trains continued as I sat in the train for an entire hour before it finally left the train station.
Wann wir abfahren hier, das wissen wir bisher nichts, weil alle Züge, die hier stehen, jetzt die Richtung Frankfurt fahren, sind noch da, ja.
Don't say I never told you. But when you wake up tomorrow.
Luckily, I had planned ahead for this. I had learned that taking the train in Germany is a bit like playing chess, because I have to anticipate the moves and traps that my opponent will do in a set, and try to get to my destination despite the complications. And so I still managed to catch my connecting train that I had booked. However, my chess opponent then pulled off a move that I had not calculated, simply because I didn't even know this move existed. They announced that the stop I wanted to get off at was going to be skipped, and that passengers of my sort will have to get off the train in a different city and find a different train to continue their journey. And so, on my way to Ulm, which was my next destination, I randomly landed in Stuttgart. In the train, I got chatting with an elderly lady next to me who, in fact, was on the way to Stuttgart. Before parting ways at the train station, I got the chance to take her portrait, though unfortunately the circumstances weren't particularly great, and so the photograph didn't really turn out that nicely, I'm afraid. Anyway, I found a different train that was going to take me to Ulm, which is a city in the south of Germany, not too far away from home anymore. I was reaching the end of my trip now.
I look for a verse that I can't seem to find. When I go to reach it, just leaves my mind. Waking with no.
In the city centre, in classic German, or I'd even say European fashion, there is a big cathedral, and here in Ulm there is simply a lot of space around the cathedral where the locals hang out and take a seat on one of the many chairs around there.
All the feeling, all the wonder of your being. I slip into a cold and step outside. Dark and quiet road peers out of the smoke. It leads me to a valley, secret emerald grove of cedar trees and pines. I walk for miles and miles. All the
Next, I came to a different part of the city where the Danube River flows through, and there's a lot of green space around for the locals to hang out on a day like this to enjoy the last warm and sunny days of summer. I love the shot I was able to get. It pictures not only the pretty lighting and the neat building, but also human curiosity. You have to know, this building, I think, is a music school, at least according to what I could read at its entrance. And the window the person here is peeking into was open, and one could hear some live music coming out of that room. It sounded like an ensemble of musicians were practicing in there. So while the city centre of Ulm didn't particularly impress me, the area around the Danube was all the more fascinating. It was beautiful, the mix of old buildings, greenery and the river. Also, the atmosphere was great, seeing as it was Friday evening and many people came out to begin the weekend here.
Böyle gidiyor mu?
I love how this shot turned out. The sun backlighting the whole scene, while it peeks into frame through the tree's leaves that sort of tame the light in order to not get too big of a flare in my frame, which would, I think, be distracting. I'm very happy with this one.
Soll cool sein.
And so the evening progressed, the sun slowly set, and I enjoyed my last evening on this trip. The next day was my last day of travelling. I was going to visit some friends who live not too far away from Ulm, and then in the evening take the train back home to Austria.
Hier dann ausführen im Endeffekt, oder? Auch bei den entsprechenden Plänen, die kann man sich gerne mitnehmen. Eine Besucherinformation.
Ausstieg in Fahrtrichtung rechts.
Haben wir gesagt, alles klar, okay. Dann ziehe ich zu dir drauf. Magst nicht in so einen Kaff ein bisschen weiter weg.
In this landscape here, consisting of fields and many forests, I was visiting none other than my friend Flo, who shoots lovely photos of these landscapes in the forests around here. He was also my second interview partner for the Leica video because he is an avid user of a Leica MP, and so I thought maybe he could also share a couple thoughts for that video.
Ich glaube, das kannst du sagen, von 22, von 0,7 hier bis Unendlichkeit.
Das ist ja super cool
Alles
gemacht.
scharf.
Das wusste ich gar nicht, dass das.
Halt die Filmlasche fest.
Ja.
Zieh vor, bis du in den. Also genauso, und jetzt zieh feste. Ja, ja. Gerne drin sein.
So?
Bisschen weit,
Weiter noch?
einen Ticken weiter. Nochmal auslösen. Und jetzt müsste es sich mit drin.
Warte mal, das ist schon 28er jetzt.
Oh gut, danke.
Oh, Susanna.
We had a great time just hanging out, going on a little walk in the forest and taking it slow. Later in the afternoon, I caught my train back to Austria and was on my way home.
What's this life without a sweet goodbye? And though it's so this letter, for when the nights grow colder. Dear friends and gentle hearts, the time has come to part. The jig is up now, so lay me down. So when the world gets dark, know I loved you from the start. Listen to the words I sang to you.
And so that concludes my little trip across Germany in September. I had a lot of fun and it was really interesting to get a closer look at the big neighbour to the north. I have yet to explore Germany further up north, and of course there are many other places to visit, all in due time, some other day. I hope you enjoyed joining me. Before saying goodbye, I also want to say thank you to the lovely people supporting me in my work on Patreon. Thank you so much to each one of you. If you're interested in Lightroom presets, color grading tutorials and stuff like that, you can check out my page via the link in the description. Also, I have a print shop, by the way, in case that is of interest to you, also in the description. With that said, I hope to see you again soon. Until then, goodbye.
Listen to the words I sang to you.